You all very much. It's my joy to be here. It's my joy to be here talking to you that are live, and it's my joy to be you guys that are out there in the cosmos, I guess, through live web streaming. I was actually asked by my friend Lori and Bill Anderson to come this evening, not realizing that it was more of an open forum, but I'm thrilled for this opportunity. Ron Williams and Jeff and all the others, thank you for having me here. My objective today is to clear up for you any doubts, thoughts, misconceptions, or misunderstandings about the direct selling industry, and then give you just the shortest little snapshot of what it is about this company and the industry that I find so very, very terrific. And would you just, I'll point to what I want them. There is so much enthusiasm right now for Keytopia, and I share that enthusiasm. The product works for me. And the product has done something that rarely occurs. The product has caused large numbers of people who would not choose to otherwise affiliate with a direct selling company to become involved with ours. I love the Keytopia message. But what I really want is for people to see and understand the entire direct selling message. What I really want you to know and understand is the entire Forever Green message. I remember, gosh, so many years ago, I won't say what it was, but I went to my first presentation like tonight. It was for a similar company. It couldn't be this one yet because it wasn't born. And I remember I heard a person talk for what seemed like hours. The good news is that you've got me for 18 minutes more, and that's it. I'm not going to have to, you don't have to listen to me for hours. But he talked for so long. And after he talked for so long, it felt good, and I wanted to do it. So I guess it was effective to that degree. It felt good, and I wanted to do it. But I didn't know what was required for success at the company level. I didn't know what was required for success for me as a distributor. I just knew that it felt good. And so what I want you to know and understand is what the elements are that are required for success in a direct selling company. What are the elements that make it possible for you to have success in this company, Forever Green? And then finally, I want you to know and understand specifically and exactly what we do and why we get paid for what we do. There are 5 elements required for success. The first is not a product, but a group of products. Not just a product, but a group of products that meet the needs of people in various stages and places in their lives. Most importantly, if we can change the way that a person looks, or if we can change the way they feel, if we can change the way they feel about themselves, or if we can, in a measurable, not simply anecdotal way, impact their health, those things will all provoke emotional response. And if emotional response is provoked, then people are far more likely to tell their friends. And the cycle continues. It happens again. In order for it to work, there must be one or more products in the product offering that matters to you. Now, we're all different in this room, and we're all different watching on the webcast. Some are younger than me, most. Some are older than me. Some are more physically fit. Some are less physically fit. Some are men, some are women. Some are wealthy, some are not. We are different. And so there's not any one product that, for me, fits the bill. It must be a group of products. And what I find in Forever Green, when I came to this company, candidly, I came because of my intrigue, not for Keytopia, it wasn't here yet. I came because of my intrigue, which continues, for the beauty strips, for that serum that I think is absolutely magic in what it does for people's skin. That's what brought me here, but after I got here, I found out that every single thing that has the Forever Green label on it is a product that I really like. I really like it. Some of them mean more to me than others because of where I am at my station in life, but I really like all of them. And if you don't know what Fix is, find out. If you don't know what Thunder is, find out. If you're not using Pure, why are you not? If you're not using the entire farmer's market group of products, then you're missing what is, I believe, a truly majestic product offering. The first element required for success in a direct selling company is not just a product, but a group of products that matter to people. Second, comes back to the people. What business are we in? What is it really? We're in the direct selling business. What business are we in? We're in the people business. It's really about the people. And that's both true in organizations of distributors, and it's true at the company level. And so I can't name them all, but what is it about this group of people? Well, it's Ron Williams himself. It's the intrigue of the man. When Ron walked into the room, the energy in the room shifted. Even if you didn't know who it was that walked in, the energy shifted. That's what happens. He's one of those unique personalities that causes the energy level to go up, to get a little bit more lively whenever he walks into the room or he talks on the phone. And people intuitively and automatically want to trust and believe him. They want to trust and believe, and they quickly love. And when you want to trust and believe and love another, it's so much easier to form relationships. So it's Ron. But it's not just Ron, but it's the group of people he surrounded himself with. It's Blake, and it's Jeff Graham, and it's Craig, and it's all of the others. The first element required for success is a product, not just a product, but a group of products that matter to people. Second is a group of people that we can trust. Because if we have a group of people that we can trust, then we know that our future is safe. If we don't have that, we can go nowhere. Second, it's the people. The third element required for success is timing. And here, I want to shatter a network marketing myth. For so many years, I was taught when I first went to that initial presentation, I was shown a graph, it had an x-axis and a y-axis, and what I was told was this: Randy, all companies start on the bottom left-hand corner of the graph, most of them finish there, they don't succeed. Every once in a while, I was told one of these companies stops being small and starts to become big. There's a period of dramatic growth. It was called momentum, and they said during momentum you can make money. Turns out that's not true. Turns out that's just not true. Each one of us have a moment of timing that is dependent upon us. So long as the company is shipping products and paying commissions, which this one does, then my moment of timing and your moment of timing is not tied so much to what happens in these four walls. It's what happens inside the four walls of our home. It's what happens inside our head and our heart. You see, there are four simple skills we all must develop, and those four simple skills are, and for the sake of time, I'll simply tell you what they are. I won't tell you how to develop them. Number one is to learn to so live our lives so that our candidate list grows in front of us. Those of you who are brand new, you can write down a list of names. What about 6 months from now? What about 6 years from now? What about 10 years from now? You see, it's an activity to write down a list of names. It is a developable skill for each of us to learn to so live our lives such that others would seek to be in association with us. And Lori, isn't it true that if people want to be in association with us, it doesn't matter too much what the messages we deliver, it'll be well received. So the first skill is to learn how to create a candidate list that grows as we grow, and that's the very definition of it. When we grow, our candidate list grows. Second, it's to learn how to invite. It's to learn what to say and what not to say so that our candidate sees the opportunity being offered as opposed to seeing the one offering the opportunity. See, I really believe this. I believe that if you, whoever you are, whether you're here personally or whether you're out there watching it online, I believe that if you see the opportunity, what is the opportunity? It's a chance to, I believe, be more healthy. It's a chance to retain youth and vigor for a longer period of time in our lives. It's a chance to have more income than we might otherwise have. For me, it's proven to be a chance to make more money than I could have made doing anything else, I believe, and have had a more positive life experience than I could have done doing anything else. Well, if that's what you see, you want it, don't you? If that's what you see. But if all you see is an opportunity to become a distributor in a network marketing company, you may or may not get involved. And so the next skill is to learn how to invite so that our candidate sees the opportunity being offered. The third skill is to learn how to present the business in a fashion that can duplicate. What's most wrong with this right now? It's me talking and you maybe listening. It's not us communicating. And so you see, and it also is dependent upon my life experience and my particular set of gifts and skills and talents. If you were to come to our home every Tuesday night except tonight, what you'd see is we invite a handful of friends over, we thank them for coming, and we push play on a series of videos. Because why? Because for this to work, the message must be delivered in a way that can duplicate, that can replicate, that everyone can do, not just he or she who has a particular set of backgrounds, talents, or skills. And the final skill is to learn how to get new members started in a universal fashion. So there's the same language being delivered all over the world, not just all over the country, but all over the world. It's to learn how to do new member orientations in a manner that likewise replicates. Well, if we develop those skills, then we're halfway home into this moment of personal timing. But let's just take for a moment, I've had such success. God has been so kind to me. I've had so much success in this industry and with this company. I think that we can all grant that I've got those skills. But what if I have these skills, but you just don't like me? You see, in this industry, we don't just invite people into a business with us, we invite them into our lives. And we invite ourselves into their lives. And so, yeah, Randy's got those skills, but my gosh, he doesn't seem to know the true from the false. I don't want to be in business with him. See, that wouldn't work. Oh, yeah, Randy, he knows how to do it, but he's so full of himself. My gosh, I've never been around such an arrogant person. I don't want to be with him. Randy, he's got the skills, but have you seen he's always drunk? See, I don't want to be around him. Have you seen the way he looks at women? He can't keep his hands and his eyes off them. See, that would never work, would it? We must not just develop skills, but we must develop character attributes such that others would invite us into their lives to utilize those skills. Here's my message to all of you. You can do this. Why can you do it? Because the moment of timing is not tied to something Forever Green does or does not do. The moment of timing is tied to what you do or do not do. At the very moment any of us develop those four skills that are required to success, and as we then learn, grow, develop, and become more, such that others would not just invite us, but welcome us into their lives, when our character is such that others seek to be in association with us, that is each of us individual moment of timing. That's when we get the key in the lock of success in a profound way. Timing. I think of it differently than most people. Then the compensation plan, I won't talk about it except to say this. I've been in this industry for a long time. I've had a great degree of success. My very inclusion in this company says that I believe the compensation plan provokes correct activities among participants. I believe that it effectively connects together productive people without penalizing those who may be less productive in between. I think that it gives us an opportunity to work for a season, not for a short period of time, but to work for a season and then continue to get paid again for the work we once did if we build an organization with proper structure. I think that not for many, but for a few, those who do all that is required to succeed for a long time, not short, that we can have breakthrough financial experiences. So I believe in the compensation plan. And then finally, there must be a proven, predictable pattern of activities so we can take the luck and the guesswork out. You skip to the next slide for me, Craig. And so, here's this next thought. I remember I went to that first presentation those years ago, and I've now described to you what the elements are that are required for success in a direct selling company. But I remember I listened to that gentleman speak, and he's a friend of mine still, and I listened to him speak for so long, and when it was over, I fought my way to the front of the room, and I said, can you just please tell me what it is? I've been listening for a long time, but I don't know what it is still. And he either couldn't or wouldn't describe to me in a simple sentence or phrase what it is. I want you to understand this evening what it is. What we do is engage in a proved and predictable pattern of activities. I want to say that again. It's proved or it's proven. There's no luck and there's no guesswork. If A, then B, then C, then D. We engage in a proved and predictable pattern of activities which results in the creation of an ever-expanding and potentially limitless web of consumers, both internal and external. What's an internal consumer? I'm one. I said yes to this business opportunity, and now I consume. I'm inside the web. What's an external consumer? Samantha and I, we host people in our home every Tuesday night, and not all who come grasp the vision of the business, but almost all who come. Let's remember, I live in America. 65% of Americans are overweight, and that same 65% or another 65% are broke. And so I live in a society where people are overweight and they need more money, and I'm delivering a message telling people how they can lose weight and make more money. Most see it. Most see that vision. But those who don't certainly want to try a product. They want to try the beauty strips. They become intrigued with what phytoplankton is. They want to try the entire farmer's market product group. They want to try. And so we engage in a proved and predictable pattern of activities, no luck, no guesswork, which results in the creation of an ever-expanding and potentially limitless web of consumers, both internal and external, who require no outside provocation for continued product use. And if you are the one who set in motion that pattern of activities, then you get paid a royalty by accessing the compensation plan. That's what it is. That's the way that it works. There's actually a logic and a methodology to what we do. There's no smoke and mirrors. There's no luck and there's no guesswork. And what is that proved and predictable pattern of activities? It's identified here. This is it. For the last 20 years, I've been doing about the same thing. It's changed a little bit. Here's how it's changed, Laurie. There was a time when it was a CD. Before that, it was an audio cassette. And now it's an MP3 file. That's how it's changed. That's about the size of it. What I once did to succeed is what I now do to succeed. Yes, I've incorporated new pieces of technology. Yes, I've tried to stay current and fresh. But what has always worked in the direct selling business is what will always work, period. What has always worked is what will always work, and I'm very, very careful to add anything to that proven recipe or take anything from it. Now, another quick illustration of timings. I think this is so important. I was told when I first got involved in the industry, Randy, catch a wave. Folks, it is not about catching a wave, it's about learning how to surf. This company will send wave after wave after wave to shore. It sent a wave to shore, a big one with power strips. A wave is coming to shore, a big one with beauty strips. A huge wave out there in the distance, not here yet, but a huge wave is coming with Ketopia. Some will catch it and some won't. My message to you is don't think about catching a wave, think about learning to surf. Develop the skills, develop the character attributes so you can decide which wave to catch. You can decide which ones to ride out. And you've joined a company where you can have confidence. It's been a decade improving in development that they will, in fact, continue to develop, continue to innovate, keep sending new things to shore to make it possible for us to succeed when we develop those skills, once we've learned to surf. Next one. You know, I had to show you this just really, really fast. I tend to, and Samantha, walk up here with me for 1 second. One of the things that is very evident is I developed very strong persuasion skills in this industry. See, Samantha married me. That took a lot of persuasion. So it did. So I want to share with you this thought. I have delivered to people for many, many years the biggest vision. And the biggest vision for me is I said yes to this wonderful industry long before I could say yes to this company. Because I said yes, dedicated myself, and have continued to dedicate myself to becoming the very best at it that I can be. Our income experience has been extraordinary. Now, I also like to deliver a really small message. Not so very long ago, Samantha said, well, Randy, I want to build a business too. She immediately became my partner in the business. She said, I want to build a business too. And this was before we were married, and so she could have a distributorship, and so we started. Now, in my own case, what's easiest for me is to talk about the business first. I introduce people to a business idea, and having introduced them to a business, I then show them the products that are the foundation, the backbone of that business. Samantha didn't have those years of experience that I had in the industry. What was easier and more logical and more natural for her was to talk first about a product. And so here we see Samantha starting her way by inviting a group of women over to the house and having with them a day of beauty, introducing the product first, which then paved the way for, go to the next one. Ooh, I'm sorry, you know what, we're really careful with this. We don't make big income claims, but it's really important to let you know that you can make money at this. This was Samantha's first check. She made $130. Okay, it's okay to talk about these kinds of things, right? So she invited a handful of friends over to the house, and she had a day of beauty with them, and she made $130. Go to the next slide. And then, as I introduced the business first and then talk about the product, she introduced the product first, and then these people wanted to learn about the business. So she invited them over to our home, and what did you do?
Pushed play on videos.
We said, thank you for coming. We know you could have been someplace else. We welcomed them to our home. That's what's important here, folks. We can present ourselves however we want here on stage. But if you come to our home, you know us, don't you? When you walk into our home, I think what you feel is a sense of peace and security and love. It's a sanctuary. Oh, this is okay. It's safe here. That's what it feels like at our home. In order for you to succeed in your home, it simply needs to be a place that is clean, that is tidy, and that's full of love. That's what they feel when they walk into our home, and that's what opens people's hearts to hearing a message. So she introduced them first to a product. Then they came to our home. She pushed play on videos. Next slide. And her next check went to $275. Now, sometimes we get all carried away with the great big numbers. This is a really important message for you all to know and understand. If we can simply get people involved in this business and help them get back the money it took to place a first order, if we can help them start to become profitable, they will be here the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that. Isn't that true? And so then, what'd you do next? Next slide.
Then I went to people's homes and did business presentations for and with them.
Okay, so at every presentation, looks around the room and says, we could do this at your home. We could do this at your home. Opens up the book, puts it on the calendar, and because her first introduction to these people was not about the business, it was about the product. When she went to their homes, it was once again first about the product. And the next slide. And so her next check was $369. Now, folks, I want to share with you a bit of truth. If you want to make a little bit of money, you need only develop the very simple set of skills required to invite a handful of people over to your home and introduce either the business or the product. It matters not which, whichever is more comfortable or natural for you. If you want to make a little bit of money, you can do that. If you want to make a fortune, spend the next 3 to 5 years teaching 15 people how to do that. That's the truth. That's all it takes. Let's not make this more complicated and complex than that. You learn how to do it first, a handful of people. After that, you teach 15 people how to do the same thing. And remarkable are the outcomes. Next slide. What do we do next?
We had a family barbecue.
We had a family barbecue. We invited people over to our home. Folks, this is about building a community. It is not simply about introducing people to a business. These people become our friends. We're engaged in their lives. They're in our home. We're in their homes. It will never change. Those who think technology can ever replace personal interaction, those who think technology can add to, technology can help, but technology will never replace being with people. People in our homes, there, and vice versa. That's how it works. Next. This is my favorite slide of all. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds here. Many years ago, I authored a training program that was called Recruit, 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 the only sure way to success. Without realizing it, that was my admission at that point in time that I had to sponsor this week to replace someone that I sponsored 10 weeks ago. This ongoing churn, which unfortunately has been a big part of the direct selling industry forever. The churn, the churn, the churn, the churn, the churn, constantly filling the top of the bucket and they're falling out of the bottom of the bucket. Along the way, as I learned, I grew, I've developed, I've become more, my thoughts are more mature. I'm very, very, very concerned about the outcomes of those people who join me in the business, who join us. It changed, and it stopped being recruit, 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 the only sure way to success. It became instead recruit, train, retain, and then fully transfer the baton of knowledge and leadership to someone else. Easy way to view this, I don't just want to bring you into the room, I want to bring people into the room who stay. I invite you to come all the way in and sit all the way down. Come all the way in and sit all the way down. And when you can imagine yourself standing in front of just this little group of people represented by this room, you can make a few $100s a week. When you can imagine yourself transferring that baton of knowledge and leadership 5 times, 6 times, 7, 8, 10, 12. If you can imagine 10 or 12 rooms like this with somebody standing in front of it that you brought into the business, and over the course of a period of time, that baton of knowledge and leadership was transferred, that's the way home to the significant incomes. And so, why is this my favorite one? It's because this was the first presentation Samantha did with me not there. This was her first solo act. And you know what? It took place only a matter of weeks after she first said yes, and the outcome was she got her first big girl check, she calls it, $863, okay? Now, what we have learned is that, and this for me has been, it's so fun doing it with Samantha, it's given new life to everything that I do. It's made it new and young and fresh for me. Ron says you gotta stay green, you gotta stay fresh. Doing it with Samantha's done that for me. We do this together, we have a ball doing it. And I am completely convinced that there is no luck and there is no guesswork. There is a process here that works. Your moment of timing is about you. It's not about the company. This company is remarkable. It's when you likewise become a little bit more remarkable every day, wherever you start, that it gets relatively easy. Any thoughts you have in conclusion?
No.
Okay, everybody, God bless you. We'll see you. Thank you.